Joining us now is the Democratic Congressman Adam Smith of Washington State. He's the top-ranking Democrat of the Armed Services Committee. He's just returned from a trip to China as part of a congressional delegation. I want to talk to you about that in a moment, Congressman, but the enemy from within, the idea that American cities should be used as a training ground for the military. In all of history since Rome, there's an understanding that the military is not used against the civilian population in a democratic society.
Yeah, I mean, there's two big things about this. First, both of these speeches were rambling and incoherent. If you had asked, I don't know, a college sophomore in a foreign relations class to give a speech and say, tell us a national security policy for the U.S., both the president and the Secretary of Defense would have gotten Fs. I mean, it was just rambling and incoherent. Where they were going, nobody knew. And this was on display, as you say, for the entire world to see. And what they saw was two leaders had no idea what they were talking about in the first place. And second, what national defense strategy was laid out there? How did it explain the challenges we face from China and Russia and Iran and North Korea and what we're going to do about it? It didn't. It was just sort of a set of petty grievances. So it definitely made us look weak to the entire world, and it's deeply concerning about the leadership of both of these people over our national security apparatus. Number one, and then number two, like you said, they seem most focused on using the U.S. military to settle their own political and petty grievances domestically, which is troubling on a whole series of levels. Look, I mean, to do this big a display on such a large stage and have it be such an utter clown show, it weakens this country.
Yeah, I mean, Hegseth was carrying on about generals being too fat and stuff like that. Right. Meanwhile, on September 3rd, China had this military parade. Narendra Modi, who's not an ally of China's, was there. Vladimir Putin was there. Xi Jinping put on 12,000 soldiers were there goose-stepping. You could see China as adversary, ally, or something in between, but they looked a whole lot like a world power. Meanwhile, we're blowing up boats in the Caribbean Sea.
Right, blowing up boats and, as you said, talking about facial hair.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I joked with somebody earlier today that if you did a parody of the Patton speech at the start of that movie,
yep.
you couldn't do it much funnier than Secretary Hegseth did. It was just completely ridiculous.
But if you're an adversary in the world right now, if you're Russia or you're Xi Jinping and you're trying to demonstrate that you're an organized and stable power, you're winning over countries that might want to do business with the United States, might want to have closer alliances with the United States, but the other superpower seems a little bit more organized and stable at the moment. And B, fantastic for our adversaries that America's can't keep its eye on us because it's keeping its eye on its own people. It has an enemy within.
Well, forget the clown show aspect of it for a moment and the incoherent speeches. The policy that these two people have implemented has weakened us across the country. We are alienating every partner and ally that we have in the world through the tariff policy, through Trump's petty insults from time to time, through his attacks on NATO. That was our greatest strength, was their system of partnerships and allies. China itself has expressed envy about the partners and allies. Trump is weakening them every second of every day. You know, he has, as you outlined there, sided with Putin repeatedly in this war, undermined our ally Ukraine. So the policies that they're implementing, aside from the rather odd words that they use, are weakening us as well, and certainly giving aid and comfort to our adversaries. And at the same time, as you said, for countries that are kind of trying to figure out which way to go, who are you going to back?
Yeah.
You're going to back the countries that seem to have a coherent plan, or are you going to back the countries that seem to be focused on the personal grievances of Donald Trump?
Congressman, it's good to see you, as always. I think I've got a special treat this weekend. I think I'm going to see you again this weekend on Velshi, so I always look forward to that. Congressman Adam Smith, thank you for being with us.